Now I have 5 questions from the Def Leppard Die Hard fans page, led by the great Karen Fairchild Meyer. And
Hi, Karen. Yeah, I know Karen. I know Karen. Awesome.
cool. And
Yeah.
again, shout out to Lorelei Shellis for setting us up. Again, thank you.
Yes,
You're both
absolutely.
wonderful.
That's cool. Thank you.
So I'm going to apologize in advance and say these are pretty Phil-centric questions.
No, you know what? It's totally cool. And I'll throw this in there. When I first married Phil, one of the fans hit me up and they had Steve questions. And so what I ended up doing was instead of, I knew people always ask kind of like the same questions. I put together a 4-part series that can be found on YouTube, and it's called All About Steve. And
yes, I saw it. I loved it.
I filmed Phil and asked him, they sent the questions in and we broke it up and had Phil actually answer the questions. I love this stuff because I always tell people, I'm a Jackson 5 fan. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. The reason why I love All Access worked for me in working with the fans is because I know what it means to be a fan.
Hi, I'm Phil Collen. I'm actually going to answer some questions about Steve Clark.
So, when people, they treat him kind of differently and look down on him, whatever. No, because everybody's a fan of something. And for people to actually, revere and care for something that much where they can take time out of their own life and input some energy into yours, positive energy. I mean, that's wonderful. And then like these fans, like you said, Karen Fairchild. So I think Karen did I Love All Access, but when you say these names, like I know the names just come up, and through the years now, it's been 11 years at this point. These people are like extended family because they are fans, and they're there. So, and they're so kind to me and they're so cool. If they pop up in my feed, if someone said something negative, I didn't even say anything. They eat them up. And I'm just like, oh, that's awesome. They just, they're wonderful. They really are. So, tell Karen I said, big up.
Definitely. And by the way, Steve Clark is one of the reasons why I picked up playing the guitar.
Oh, wow.
Phil is the reason why I play a Jackson guitar.
That's amazing.
So, although I'm kind of upset because mine doesn't have the sustainer like his does, but
no. That's okay. That's okay. It's when Phil and I, before we got married, I remember we were in Pittsburgh and we were walking over this bridge, and we were getting to know each other. And he said to me, you remind me so much of my best friend. And I didn't know anything about Steve at all. And he said, he kept telling me, he was like, you're just like him. You remind me of him. And I was like, who? And he starts telling me about Steve. And I was like, I guess he was a cool guy, and then he tells me about what happened to him and stuff. And I was like, oh, but then as the, months went by and I began to get the history of Steve, I was like, wow, this is so special that, he told me that I remind him of this guy. Other things too, where he'll be like, let's go. And he's like, I'm still running to go get something else. He's like, Steve always did that too. And I'd be like, I'm sorry. So it's very special that the memory is kept alive by so many people because, in our house now it's Uncle Steve, so, I don't let Jackson not know who that is. Like he knows, there's a picture. We have this huge picture of Steve, and that's Uncle Steve. It's a beautiful thing, actually. Yeah, the memory lives on. As people live as long as you allow them to.